Hey Clashers, tomorrow starts a new medal event, which means we are going to receive a new epic equipment for the Warden. If you want to access the overall overview for the event, just use the event building on the top left of your village and you can see all of the different rewards. You can progress through the event with just doing multiplayer battles and taking down the highlighted buildings with the number above them. With taking down those specific buildings and claiming those points, you can get those points after the attack for your pass and unlock all of those different rewards. And you can as well unlock medals to make sure that in the end you can get the new equipment. And with that being said, let's take a look at the rewards overall, which you can claim from the pass. All of those rewards with the golden border are for the paid pass, and everything else you can claim completely as free to play. The same as an epic chest, which is going to be at least an epic, maybe even a legendary chest. But that is for everyone, every player out there. But if you want to get even more ores, for example, and you want to buy the event pass, make sure that you're supporting your favorite content creator out there. With code iTzu, you're supporting me and this channel. I really appreciate that. And now let's dive into the medal shop, because those equipments this month are great, especially for those who are coming back, because you can not just buy potions and stuff, but as well 2 of those epic equipments which you might have missed, which is the spiky ball and as well the action figure. 2 of the strongest equipments in the entire game. But as well a new equipment for the Warden, the heroic torch. And this thing is going to allow your troops for 20 seconds to walk through walls, which is already pretty solid. On top of that, you are able to have speed increase for everything inside the range of the aura of the Warden. And on top of that as well, a damage reduction of 10% for everything inside the range of the aura. Which makes this pretty solid, right? Well, let's take a look at a couple of different interactions, because it is not as easy to use. And then we're going to take a look at a full attack on how you can utilize this new equipment the best. The first thing you need to be careful about is if the Warden goes down. So for example, we're putting the Titans in here. The Warden though is getting targeted by the multi-inferno tower. Or there's so much splash by now in the base. And if he's going down, your Titans are going to lose the ability of walking through walls. But that's really important. If they are inside a wall as the Warden is going down, well, then they can still move outside of that wall, which means they are still keeping that wall phasing ability for a little bit longer. The next thing now is going to be if troops are walking out of the range of the eternal, of that ability of the heroic torch, they are losing the ability of walking through walls. So the Warden has to follow. You're relying on the Warden to follow, otherwise the ability is not there for your troops. That's another thing you have to keep in mind when using this equipment. Obviously, walking through walls is just one part of the equipment. There is another thing with increasing the speed of troops and as well increasing the damage reduction, which is 10% less damage on your troops. So you can still combine them with air troops if you want to, with loons for example, even though I feel like that is not really the strongest use case, so I'm not sure how useful that actually is. I would not really recommend it personally. But still, maybe people are coming up with some crazy stuff. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about before we're jumping into a full heroic torch attack, and that is talking quickly about the new hero event we have coming up in a couple of days. And well, Supercell just wants to give you a nice preview, because you're going to be able to keep this scenery if you're going to reach the highest reward tier in this new and next event, which means this is going to be able to be unlocked as a free-to-play player for everyone. So that's quite nice. The same thing as well, during that event, everyone is going to have the unlimited hero event as well, which means you can upgrade your heroes and you're still going to be able to use them. On top of that as well, we have the event troops right now in the game with the pinatas and such, but there's going to be 3 more batches of event troops coming to the game. The next batch is going to happen on the 11th of August, then the next one is going to happen on the 20th of August, and then 26th of August as well. The first batch of those event troops will be the Barbarian Kicker, Battle Ram, Mecha, iTzu, and then the Broom Witch. The second next batch is going to be the Firecracker, Cookie, and Royal Ghost. And then we're going to have the Text Collector, Party Wizard, and the Firecracker. So just so you have a heads up, but don't worry, there will be specific videos really breaking things down and making sure that you know the best armies and strategies. we should now check out the strategy and the attack with the Heroic Torch. And I'm just playing this as I will play with the Mass Royal Gem Charge, and instead of using dragons, we can now finally use ground. That's right, if you're not an air attacker, you can now replace the dragons with a ground push army. So far, time was always an issue. Dragons were just so good because they could just fly over walls, they would not have any time issues, and with ground now, you can just walk through the walls. You won't have any time issues anymore, or it's way less likely because you're not relying on wall breaks, for example. So that is already good news. On top of that, you can as well use different sieges. You could use the troop thrower, you could use the siege barracks, which is going to increase the time even more, and so on. So there's a lot of different options. I like to bring the Titans because they feel quite quick. You could go as well with a hybrid between, for example, the Titans and, for example, Super Yetis. So that's really up to you. But it's the overall approach of the Mass Royal Gem Charge into this ground push. Because there's overall one big problem with the Heroic Torch. And I will be completely honest here, 20 seconds, it's really short. Really short duration. So the issue here is in a normal attack that there is two problems. First one, if you're facing an Ice Golem clan castle inside a village of a base, you cannot use that Warden ability. Even if the Warden is about to go down, you cannot use it because, well, the ability would be just gone. Your troops would be frozen the entire 20-second duration because that's what Ice Golems do. So you need some type of opening for the attack that you can lure out the clan castle and be super safe that the clan castle is not going to mess up the attack in the middle part. The second problem of the Heroic Torch then is that troops need guidance, because the ability of walking through walls is not just in your favor if you want to go that way, but there's another building on the other side and your troops are just splitting, or your troops are going into the wrong direction, so you need some type of pathing. Just spamming things in is not as consistent. It can still work, don't get me wrong, but it's not as consistent as really setting up your troops so that they can walk into the right direction through all of those compartments and walls. And with the Mass Royal Gem Charge, or Mass Invis Royal Gem Charge, you can do exactly that. Then, as we're getting into the back end, we're using the ability because we're not just going through compartments and walls, we are as well faster and taking less damage, which means it's really nice to use. And then the jump just to be extra safe that we're not going to have any time issues, and we're good to go. So you can really do fun things with this equipment, but I would say we are going to check it out as well tomorrow again. I will use more different attack strategies, and I will tell you how strong I feel like this equipment really is. Because today, I want to hear your opinion. Do you think this equipment is solid, it's underwhelming, or is it going to be overpowered? Let me know how you would use it and how strong you feel like this equipment is going to be. And otherwise, I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.